Hey
Welcome.
guys. No, it's you. Hi,
Yes.
Anna. Welcome to our show.
Well, hello, Selena. And then welcome everyone to season 15 of the 15-ish minute coffee chat, a conversation providing tips for every entrepreneur and business owner.
Hey, look, guys, it's a Monday, kind of a Thursday, so bear with us. But today, did you know your brand success starts with one key factor, and that's you? So, self advocacy isn't just about speaking up, it's about owning your value, positioning your business for visibility, and confidently stepping into opportunities. In this episode, we're sitting down with the infamous Moni Jefferson, a powerhouse entrepreneur, marketing strategist, and the founder of AMSE, who has helped thousands of military spouses, entrepreneurs start, scale, and sustain their businesses. Moni shares the mindset shifts, branding strategies, and bold moves that helped her build multiple ventures, land national recognition, and create lasting impact. If you're ready to stop playing small and start positioning yourself for the success you deserve, this conversation is for you. Boy. Woo. Okay, first of all, how excited I am that we have Moni on again. And I think what I'm most excited about is just, we've grown a friendship with this wonderful woman, and she's the real deal.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Meeting Moni for the first time, maybe 5 years ago, right? Like a
Yeah.
force to be reckoned with. I felt a
Yeah.
little intimidated because she's so strong and certain about
Yeah.
who she is and what she wants to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, after these 5 years of having a chance to work alongside her and work under her and be part of
Yeah.
her organization and like just learn and gain knowledge from her, I'm like,
Yeah.
she's amazing.
Yeah, no. So when we got to see her last week in Dallas for a little bit, we got to hug her. We got to watch her chatting with another military spouse powerhouse, and they created a magic in the moments that they didn't know they were going to have. And I can't say it, but I got to see it happen if they're doing it. But I don't know. It's nice when you can be around somebody like that, because it's very inspiring for your own business, right? You leave people like Moni wanting to do better for your business. And so I'm always so excited when she says yes to any of our crazy shenanigans and having her do something. So what is our call to action question for our audience today, Anna?
Well, so today we're talking about elevating your business brand, right? Let me drop this in there.
Yeah.
Because elevating your business brand, but doing it because you're advocating for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so our call to action today, or our question for the listening audience today, is your business positioned for growth? And there's all sorts of facets we're going to talk about in terms of that today, but you can't just growth doesn't happen just because, like, sometimes it does, but it's unsustainable if you're not prepared for it, right? You have to be set up and ready to go. And so that intentionality, and then promoting it through self-advocacy, which is what we're going to talk about today, which I'm excited to have that conversation. Yeah. Anyway, gives us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Like, when you think about your business, would you be like, yeah, I'm ready to like start to build and make something even bigger and better than what I currently have,
Yeah. No, all the things I feel it. So why don't I bring up her bio slide so we can get on to reading more about her so everybody knows. Let's see here if we did this right. All right. Okay. There we go. Oh, and then I got to push the slide for you, Anna. All right. There we go. There we go, my friend.
Okay. So I'm just going to read part of this bio. Moni is the innovator committed to social impact, a recently seasoned Air Force spouse, as in their family just went through retirement, and accomplished a multi-venture entrepreneur specializing in public relations, marketing strategy, business development, and community building. Moni is known for her role in advocating for military spouse entrepreneurs and international speakers across local and national venues. So I'm just going to pause right there because what I want you to know is both Selena and I were part of her Association of Military Spouse Entrepreneurs, still are part of this association. And we're talking about thousands of military spouses that have benefited from the advocacy work and the promotion work and the support that Moni has created in this organization. So absolutely amazing. She's done so many crazy things and really cool stuff. She's been invited to the White House. She's been featured on the NASDAQ tower, not tire. It's not just a tire. It's a whole tower that you're going to be seeing Moni on. She's been in the Forbes Next 1,000 Entrepreneurs for her work. And then we're talking about like 10,000 military spouses that have been supported under the Moni, what I'm going to call Moni's tutelage. So that's just the bare minimum scratching, but I'm going to let Moni talk more about she does best. Because clearly, we're having trouble even getting words out of our mouths today.
Dare we call it the Moni effect?
Seriously.
Maybe.
Right.
So, okay, let's bring this wonderful lady up.
Hello. Hey. Hi, Moni. You are muted right now, my friend.
I don't have a tech team here.
No.
So. Sometimes you forget those things. Hey guys, listen, anybody watching this, you need to get on this show because the intro was introing, it filleth a cup. If the cup was empty. Thank you. Because you're so sweet. I'm really excited to be here and just have a conversation about what we're going to talk about and how important it is, especially in such a saturated market, to stand out and to self-advocate for your business and for yourself.
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay, because I'm always excited to talk to you, we're going to get our coffee cup selfie out of the way. So let me do this here.
What do I do?
And our imaginary person. Oh, look, Anna's got Hawaii. I got my Santa. On three. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. So let's get you into the power position.
Ooh,
because yes. So Anna, go ahead. Let's get it started.
Well, okay. So I'm going to pull up this first question here, which is why is self-advocacy such a critical skill for business owners? But I want to caveat this because what you just said when you first came on is you said the words saturated market. Yes. And I just want to dwell on that just for a second because that advocacy piece is critical. And I think what you just said is a huge part of that, right? Okay, now I'll let you talk. Now you can answer the question.
Yeah, no, if you look at the landscape of how we're consuming information, it is completely saturated. So the way you have to show up is completely different. It's not like when, Instagram first popped up and you could start selling your product and service right away and you would get tons of sales and hundreds and thousands of followers. Right now, people are being very, very cognizant and very picky with who's on their feed and how they're spending their time. Most importantly, how they're spending their money. And so the market is completely saturated. If I see one ad for shoe inserts, I now see 20 different ads or booths or even just other businesses selling shoe inserts. I don't know why I thought about shoe inserts. So I'm going to probably have a whole bunch on my algorithm now. But, it is really saturated. And the saturation can cause imposter syndrome. The saturation can cause doubt, and it can cause you not to even want to do anything because you're so fearful that you're not going to be found or that you're going to make a difference with your product or service or whatever it is that you're doing in the world. So the market is completely saturated. When we talk about self-advocacy being a critical skill for business owners, I want to start by when I first started the Milspouse Creative in 2014, it was a Facebook group. And I really wanted to learn more about business owners in the military spouse space because being a virtual business owner was really new to me. And I wanted to showcase their talents and their skills so that other people can learn from that. In that process, I started to learn about investing and advocating for yourself because some of the spouses would not advocate. They'd be like, oh, well, yeah, I really want to talk about it. I want people to think this or think that. Or they thought they didn't have a story, or they thought that their brand didn't matter because they were so small. And I found there was so much magic to be made. And as we can see now, That's really what the trajectory of every business owner on social media is trying to achieve right now, is the self-advocacy, the branding, the shouting from the rooftops that it's your business, but more importantly, not just shouting, but following through and creating a lasting impact with whatever you're creating. So the saturation can be cut through with impact, being a genuine person and showing who you are. That doesn't mean like letting everybody see the good and the bad, but it does mean that you have to share your journey, not your logo's journey, as you build your business. Self-advocacy allows your voice to be heard in a market that you feel you can't get through the conversation. It's kind of like, you used to go to the club. I used to go to the club a lot when I was younger,
I believe that. I
back in the day. And you're listening to music, but there's so much happening. You can't even have a conversation because there's music and a lot of noise around you. What I have found to be easy is to just put the blinders on and mind your business. I talk to that a lot on that topic with spouses that I'm coaching or women that I'm coaching, and they're always comparing themselves, like, mind your business. Put the pedal to the metal and work on what you say you're going to work on. Worry about your goals, your milestones, and what your end goal is. And if you're not talking about it, who's going to talk about it, right? Who's going to go out there and say, Selena, da-da-da-da. You will have people that do that by experience, by having worked with you, collaborated with you, being in your presence. But if you want to get new clients, be in a new market, you have to advocate for yourself. And I was just listening to Matthew McConaughey. It's so crazy because this is happening today. And I was listening to him and he said, somebody once told him that he was full of himself. And he said, well, if I'm not, who's going to be? And I found that to be really powerful. I think that we also have to stop a lot of self-judgment, which is why we don't also self-advocate, because we're judging what we look like, what we sound like. Are we smart enough? Is my hair color right? I'm not as pretty as this. I don't have this logo behind me. I don't like all of these things that we tell ourselves to not do the hard work, which are really just excuses for not challenging yourself. And that's really just from experience with working with so many women entrepreneurs and women in trying to elevate to another level in their career.
Yeah. Okay. There's so much to unpack in all the little things you just talked about.
Yeah.
I want to kind of start with what you just said about like the self-doubt and the excuses that we make for not showing up, right? And then tying that back into what you said about minding your business and doing what you do best and focusing on making sure you're delivering what you're promising, right? And I think those two things together, if you're focusing, like I feel like if you're focusing and minding your business, like you said, that noise really should not be penetrating in a way that's going to bring on the imposter syndrome, that brings on the nervousness or the fear. We all have fears, right? Like, I mean, my bangs are crazy today, but whatever, I'm here, right? I'm showing up and here they are. And maybe I'll do this next time. I don't know, right? But it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't matter because my bangs are not who I am. This is not who I am. What I look like is not who I am or what I'm bringing for my business. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. First of all, Anna, your bangs are you. So I just want to make that clear. No, I'm just kidding. No, I want to jump into to say, like, I always bring my culture in some way, right? And sometimes it's there's this humbleness that Hawaiians have, right? Where you don't advocate for yourself because it's not looking out for others, right? When that's kind of like the genuine thing. And so sometimes I find that a struggle in my business because I'm like, no, it is important and it is okay to fight for yourself and to show up at the front, right? And say, hey, this is me. This is what I do. I am just as important as everybody else. And so when you said that, when you say mind your business, just look away from the noise and even yourself, right? Because yourself is telling yourself like, no, you can't do that. So I just wanted to bring that up because that is one of my bad things that I get stuck in,
And I was going to say that's really normal, right? when we think about the conversations we have internally, the way we cut ourselves deep, the way we judge ourselves, compare ourselves, a lot of our shame comes into that from our past, from our childhood, from experiences. That all affects how we show up in the world, in our family, and in business. Like whether you have your career driven or your small business driven, all of that shows up when you're having that conversation with yourself. One of the things I always tell anybody I'm having a conversation with is when they bring those things up is, number one, you have to stop making it about yourself. You have a product, you have a service, you have a talent, and that needs to be given to whoever needs to receive it. If you remove that yourself from that picture and focus on the servitude of what you're doing to change somebody's life, to change a business, whatever it is, a lot of that fear will go away. But if you consistently allow it to kind of chip away, you will never take action. So you really have to remove yourself and stop making it about you. Make it about the talent, make it about the skill, make it about, you know, how you are going to elevate a business if you're career driven, or save a life if you have a product. And like, that is really what it comes down to. And if you remove that, 100%, you're going to start showing up in a different way. Like, I don't think it's bad to show up and want to look great. I think that's normal. It's just, we're human. But remove that part of it and focus more on like what you're serving, how you're serving with what you're bringing to the table. And that really will make a huge change in the way you show up.
We've kind of naturally flowed into the second question, right? Which is, how can entrepreneurs start advocating for themselves effectively? But one thing that Selena said, and then your response really kind of brought to mind too, that there are lots of different ways to advocate for yourself. You don't have to be the loudest in the room. And something Selena does very well, and that helps her business-wise because she's known for it, is her graciousness and her kindness. She will go the extra mile for any client at any time. And I'm like, wait, why are we doing this? And she's like, just because it's it's a nice thing to do, first of all, but it doesn't matter that we're not getting paid for it. They need this little extra help. And that's been a great learning thing for me working with her over the last 5 years, is like, she is advocating for herself because her clients recognize what she does, and then they speak on her behalf in that way. So it's not about being the loudest and the shouting it out and having all of the exactly right words. Sometimes it really is how you're providing that service and how you're showing up for your clients on a daily basis. What would you add to that?
I was going to say, Selena is a person that everything you said, Anna, I 100% endorse.
Yes.
She wants to do and show up the best way she can. She takes that very seriously, and it's part of like why people hire her, why people want to work with her.
Yeah.
And like we talked about earlier, that's how you get more clients. That's how you get referrals, recommendations, and consistent clients. So that is advocating, and it is showing up. Advocating for yourself starts by showing up to do what you say you were going to do, because whether you believe it or not, the world that you live in is not as big as you think it is. Mm-hmm. It's a lot smaller. People have conversations and people have connections. So by you showing up and just doing the work or following through what you say you're going to do allows people to see that, and your reputation precedes you. The other way you can self-advocate for yourself is just by saying, I want to have a conversation. I want to be at that table. What can I do to support you? I always think people want to always come in with, can you do this for me? In addition to thinking how they can benefit it from themselves. If you're coming in from that angle because you have a new product or service, or you want to do something great, or you're elevating your career, then that's the wrong place to come from, because it's feast and famine mode at that moment. You're trying to get something without giving something. And so servitude is a really huge part of self-advocacy, because you're sharing your talent or your skill with someone and saying, I'm available in this capacity. This is how I can give and support you. And you will be surprised the ROI you get from that. So if you think of it in that way, then that is very, very important. Now, if you are, and I find that happens a lot with women, especially that are introverts, and who know they're talented, but they're still have this kind of fear of really like doing video, putting things out there, pitching, whatever it is, that works really well. So ask for the position, ask for the conversation, ask for the seat at the table, offer how it is you can help them. Don't just come with, hey, I've been looking at this and this looks great, but this is what I need. People are really pushed off by that, especially if it's something that's going to benefit you. Like, I need to know what's in it for me or the people that I'm serving, because I can't make more work for myself, right?
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is to start having conversations. If you are relying on social media to get new clients, to purchase whatever you're selling, you have to in some way put it on social media. I just had a conversation with a new client, and she asked me, well, do I need to get on social? Do I need to do videos and stuff? I said, listen, you don't have to be like face forward, but you are the face. You can do all kinds of different video with your voice and everything like that, but you have to start putting the information out there. You can't just show up and start selling things. It's very put off. It's very off-putting. I think I said that backwards, but it's very off-putting when you're not talking about the benefit of working with you or purchasing your product, but then you want to sell what you're selling to people. They don't have any inkling or idea of what it looks like to work with you or use your product. So advocating for yourself is talking about some of those skills and talents that you have and putting them out into the universe. Now, let's say you don't like social media. You can always do it in an email, just in an email, And like I said, just pitching yourself on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. Hey, I'd really love to have a conversation around this. I really have this. I'm good at this, and I really love to see if it's a way that I can support what you're doing. So I think when you lean in from servitude, the benefits come out way better. In addition, I do think that you are your brand. You have to advocate for yourself. Like, nobody's going to come and just find your shoe insert, made polyframe, whatever, petroleum free, that people are going to be looking for unless you start talking about it. So I think it's such a great question. And I really feel like a lot of small businesses don't do enough of that. They do a lot of selling. They talk a lot about buying what they're selling, but they're not talking a lot about how they're going to solve the problem that they have. And that's the same thing with if you're career driven, having a conversation about how you can support in this capacity, how it can change things for whoever you work with. It's the same thing.
I'm dying right. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, no. What I love is that like self-advocacy can look different for each individual, right? And I think if you work with somebody like Moni, that's where she can come and share with you, hey, you don't have to be like this, but you can be like this. And so I love, and I appreciate that you saying that it could be this or this, servitude, or it could be being the loudest person in the room, but that's because it's comfortable for you, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think that's important because some people, I mean, you didn't call me out, but I am a little bit of an introvert. And when me and Anna walk in a room, I get instant fear. Anna gets like an adrenaline rush. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna make new contacts, right? Yeah. And so, but that falls into self-advocacy for your own business. And so, I don't know, this has been such a fabulous conversation about that, because one, you have to work with somebody like Moni, or you need to be part of her community if you're a military spouse entrepreneur, because you get a little bit of, I'm just going to call it the Moni effect now. I think this is a new term we're making today, Moni. And I do want to see it in your next email. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. Like, hey, what's the Moni effect for you?
I'm a big fan because I'm sitting here saying, I was saying to myself as she's talking, like, I'm listening to like a mini TED talk right here, and I want to take notes. And then I'm like reminding myself, we'll have this recording. It'll be okay. You can go back and watch it again. You don't have to grab your pen and paper right now, Anna. But Moni, I want to just pull out what you said about sharing how you can support someone else who already has a seat at the table. Like that, I don't know what that was like. I want to take my mic and be like, boop, like drop it for you right then, because that just hit so hard for me. I was thinking, if you're not there yet, but you're offering to support the people with your voice, and you do this so well. Okay. If there's one thing, when we were talking about Moni in the beginning and the 10,000 spouses she's supported, this is Moni in action, is what we've been talking about today, right? You help, you connect, you promote other spouses, you push people that you have trust and faith in, that, like, you promote what they do and how they do it. And in return, like, I hope that what you see is them doing the same for you and helping push you to your seat at that table, right? And that's I love that so much. I remember very early on, I remember you saying collaboration over competition. And it has been like a pillar for Selena and I in working together and in doing what we do, and just reminding ourselves how important it is to lift others up the best we can, because then they invite you to the table and you don't have to fight for the spot. It's,
Right.
Who we need to have there? This person who's smart, who follows through, who's shown that they're interested and want to discuss this thing and can help in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're an invited party and you don't have to fight for it. Anyway, I just want to say thank you for like teaching me that early on, and for helping like really showcase how you do that well.
Well, I appreciate that.
Like the Moni fan club right now.
No, I mean, this is a lot, guys. It's a lot in a good way. I really appreciate that. I mean, what I do is just, for me, obedience, that I'm called to do. Like, I remember sitting on the couch one night having wine and having this, like I said, this Facebook group, and my husband's like, "You're wasting your time. Like, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but there's all these business owners and they're having conversation, and they're all in there. I want to know what's going on and what their problems are, what my problems are, and how I've solved them, or get new ideas." And so, I feel like when you do come from a place of serving, it is, for me, it's natural in my case. But when you have a product or service, you have to come from a place of serving, because you have something that people need. So you just flip that a little bit and change it. The advocacy part is going to be so easy. So I appreciate you guys saying that. That means so much to me. You have no idea. I'm literally like want to cry.
No, I know. No, the love. Yeah, hold it together. Hold it together.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Look, if you're listening to this on the podcast, really, we're all like in a love fest right now, and
I really appreciate it. Like the community and you guys and the organizations and the people that I've had and spouses have had an opportunity to work with, collaborate with, partner with, because I continue to push forward on just doing the thing I know is going to support them and highlight them. It's just, I'm really proud and humbled by so much of you guys all the time. Like I was saying earlier, when I see you guys together, when I see you guys collaborating, working together, partnering, lifting, sharing each other's stuff, all of that just makes me have a proud moment of, I'm so glad I started out with a group. And
yes.
You didn't listen to Roy. You didn't say like, "Oh, you're right, I'm wasting my time." And
no.
You built this amazing, it really is amazing, giant collaboration of thousands of spouses that just want to support each other and help each other get to where they want to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you also add in the fact that you're helping them learn how to do business, right? I mean, it's not just about collaboration. Moni is also a whiz on all the things like starting and growing and scaling and all the things that have to do with that. But okay, Moni, if we were to just take it down to the basics, right? I'm going to throw this up here.
Yeah.
We're going to take it to the basics, right? So you've got this business owner. They're like feeling empowered by this conversation. They're like, yes. And then they're like, now what? What do I do? Like, what's the first or second? What's the first couple of things that they're going to do to change the way they've been working? What are they going to do to elevate their brand in that crowded market?
So I would definitely say, number one, you have to start showing up. And showing up doesn't have to be on video all the time or on podcasts, but it does mean that you have to show up for your business. You have to start either making a statement about what you do or sharing information that highlights that you are a thought leader, that you know what you're talking about, that you have the product or service that's going to solve their problem and that's going to make their life easier. So that is the first thing I would do, is figure out how you want to show up. Is that email list? Is that on social media? Is that on, pitching yourself to outlets and podcasts? How does that look like for you? What is comfortable? Because what one does not mean somebody else has to do it. So whatever works for you. The next thing I would say is to start having conversation around the topics where you want people to find you, because believe it or not, SEO works. One of our newest sponsors found AMSE on SEO just by typing some words. So start putting the content out there. Don't be discouraged if nobody watches it or nobody reads it. Trust me, the right people will come along, but you have to be putting the content out there. So whatever that looks like, if it's a blog, if it's podcasts, just recording things every week, whatever it looks like, start putting it out there. And then the third one I would say is, what is something bigger than you that you can be a part of, right? So if you're thinking about what it is that you do and the capacity in which you do it, who is doing that on a higher scale of where you want to be, or in a way that's effectively helping other people with the problem that you can help them solve. So find what that is and reach out to them and let them know that you'd like to be a part of that journey, and talk about what it is that you're going to be able to support them in, how you're going to be able to do it. Those are the three ways that I would say, because and you talked about it today here earlier, Anna, you mentioned it, Selena mentioned it, collaboration. Those are all very collaborative things that we talked about, because once you start putting things out there, you can start asking people to share it or to like and comment just for reach. And you can ask them if they know anybody that would benefit from this, right? So really putting your information out there. You don't have to have expensively branded designs.
Yeah.
That. In fact, a lot of people will not do this because they are not what they call ready. And then we have people who do it and they're not ready. And what I mean by that is this: they will get the expensive graphics, the captions, they will put everything out there, but they don't have all of the unsexy stuff that's the hard work to get the people from A to B to C. Right? So they're advocating, but they're not set up properly for what's going to happen. And then you have people who already are not doing it, but they don't have things set up. So when you're advocating, you have to set those things up ahead of time so that you can be prepared for what's next.
Mm-hmm. On the day that we're recording this, I would just like to point out that Moni, you just posted a LinkedIn post about that very thing today. Yeah, I think it was today. I mean, I just read it today. So whatever it was, but it was about like being prepared before you spend all the money to get all the fancy like promotion out there. If your back end isn't ready to accept the customer and take them on that fantastic journey, what are you doing? You're wasting money at that point, right?
And time. And you know what happens? You get discouraged, and then imposter syndrome sets it, and then your confidence is hit. And then you don't want to do it anymore. I mean, I have had that post is my real life experience.
Yeah.
Real life experience where people are spending hundreds of dollars a month on things, and they're not doing the hard work. The hard work is just preparing for everything, and it is showing up. I mean, you can run a successful business and not spend a lot of money. You can have not the really crazy cool tools everybody has out there, and you can still run a successful business. I'm going to attest to that because I've had to scale down myself.
Yeah.
And get rid of a lot of really great programs, but I've been able to do it with AI and with automation.
Yeah.
So it is very true. It's just, it's really hard to have conversations, literally jaw dropping when I get on. I literally 3 jaw-dropping conversations this week. And I'm so glad I wasn't on video because my face would have just like said it all. I asked them, well, why did you purchase that? That's a monthly, and you're not generating revenue yet. Why would you purchase such an expensive monthly, there's no reasoning for it. It's almost like because people said to. No, please reach out to somebody like me that has started a business with no money, or somebody else that's in your trusted circle and ask the questions, because they will give you the real answers. Marketing is marketing, and it's doing the right thing. And it's hitting the pain points at all their thousands of dollars of research. So they know how to talk to you to make you purchase that product, because they make you feel like you can't do it without them. I'm telling you, listen.
Be smarter than that, you know?
No. I want to say, like, so there was 2 communities that I joined when I kind of started my business. One was Moni's on the military side of it, and the other was another marketing person on the civilian side. And if I hadn't joined those 2, because I networked and I met incredible people that shared exactly what Moni was saying, right? Do I need this to run this part? Do I not? I mean, Anna knows me. I'm like, I need this, but I do put more thought into why I need it so that it can generate the money for me, because I'm valuing my time or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that's why it's important to have community when you're on this journey, so that, like Moni said, talk to somebody like Moni, or that has been part of Moni's effect, and say, hey, what do I really need to get started, so I'm not, dragging myself in the financial hole just to try to find my first sale. So I just want to make sure I say that, because if you didn't know, I unexpectedly left for a moment during this recording, and I'm back. So,
well, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, welcome back to
I will have to say, I did text her saying, I'm like, are you gone for good? Like, do I need to pull slides? I don't know what's happening.
No,
Oftentimes Selena dropping. So
yeah, I pulled a thing, and apparently my computer said, look, there's so much gold happening, it's sucking all the energy out of my computer. So I'm back. Okay, sorry. So
Moni, thank you for sharing the 3 things that you shared. Like, I think the 3 steps that you shared are really good first steps for everyone to really think about. And they're simple and they're easy and totally doable. And we'll be sure and recap that too in some of the conversation that we put out after this airs live. But let's jump into your toolkit and how people can find you and what you do best, and, kind of access that knowledge and wisdom that is now called the Moni effect.
It came up with this whole thing. So I think you shared earlier, on my bio, my background's in public relations and communications, and I really do lean into a lot of that and how I've been able to scale and work and partner and get sponsorships with certain organizations and being a part of certain things. And all comes down to pitching. I mean, a lot of it is the showing up and really advocating for myself, and the organization, but also pitching and allowing my voice to be heard in spaces by advocating for myself. And so I am giving away my perfect media kit for pitching. And it's not an actual media kit. We're going to be giving away an email sample pitch template. And these are the pitch templates that I use even this year. I think I shared earlier this year, if you follow me on social media, I've probably pitched about 60 people. Not all have answered, and I've gotten a lot of no's, but I've gotten some yeses, and that's been really exciting. So the pitching does work, but you have to be pitching. So it's a template for product and service-based businesses. You can download it, just join, just subscribe, and you'll get it right into your inbox.
That's awesome.
And I just want to kind of say here, right? Moni said pitches. Don't just think you're going to pitch one person and it's an immediate yes, right? You have to the art of pitching is something to do. So I think that it's fantastic that you're giving them this to kind of jumpstart on that. And Lord knows we all need it, So
well, what a great way to practice the self-advocacy, right? Is to practice pitching. That is advocating for yourself in the purest form, really, when you think about it. And it's hard to do, and it's scary. And you're afraid of what they're going to see. And, I didn't win the pitch competition or whatever, right? And then you feel like, maybe I'm not good enough. Holy cow, you put yourself out there, and there's thousands that did not. So, you know what? Awesome on you. Good job.
Hey, Moni, tell everybody where they can find you if you want to continue the conversation.
So if you want to find me personally, I'm at Moni Jefferson all over on social media. And then you can learn more about if you're a military spouse wanting to start a business, or you have a business and you're looking for community and connection, you can join us at amseagency.com or amsemembers.com to join. But you can find us on social at AMSE Agency. And we're all over. So we're on all the platforms.
No reason, guys, to not be able to find her or AMC. So making it easy.
And wait, we didn't say what AMSE stood for.
We did not. Tell everybody.
No, they know the business. Anyway, so AMSE stands for the Association of Military Spouse Entrepreneurs. And in true fashion, I came up with the acronym because I just kept getting tongue-tied. But when I'm pitching, I have to say the whole name, or when we have a new audience. So for you guys that don't know, we are the Association of Military Spouse Entrepreneurs, and we support military spouses who want to start, scale, or sustain a business with our online program, free for military spouses. So make sure you join us, or you tag a spouse that you know or that talked about a business to join us, because they got nothing to lose.
Yeah. Yes. And as two members of AMSE, you'll want to be in that space if you are a
long-time member.
I know you guys are OGs. I don't even know. There's is there a name before OGs?
I don't know.
Because you were in my Facebook group.
Yes.
You guys, since
yes. Yes. Okay, wait, you guys, this is not in the script, but I just want to share this serious story. Like when I was talking about two communities, right? And not that I wasn't taking my business serious, but I don't think I was taking my business serious. So in the early days, Moni had ambassadors that she would select for the year that would help run the Facebook page. It was great for your business to push yourself, advocate for yourself. And so she had this intake form, and I realized I was not ready because I didn't have the thing set up to be one. But I still submitted because I was like, right. And then, obviously I didn't get selected that first year because I was like, well, duh. Selena, you're not ready, right? And because of that, and I remember the form, and I'm like, get yourself together, Selena. If you want to be serious, this is what you need so you can show up. So I worked hard to make sure that the next time I applied, Moni did select me, and she still didn't know me yet. So that meant I did it all on my own. And she was like, okay, I like this person. I think they'll be a great fit for my very large Facebook group and provide value. So I just want to say that I love that, but that's part of my Moni effect story that I love sharing, because sometimes you don't take things seriously and you don't set yourself up properly. And then you wonder why you weren't selected or why you this. So anyway, that was seriously, it was all Moni inadvertently did it with a form she had set up to receive information from very serious business owners.
You rose to the occasion.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I advocated for myself that time because I was like, no, I can do this. So anyway, okay, look, this is the part. So anyway, Moni, I wanted to thank my 5-6 year ago, Selena wants to thank you for that, that we're here today in this space. I'm going to stop talking because this is where Anna has to take over, because I just want to love on you and share all the gratefulness that I have for you and everything you've done for me and my business.
I love you too. I'm so, and value you have added to many lives. Just so
absolutely.
Lots of value and inspiration, because when you were showing up, people was like, I need to show up too, because it was last week or something is coming on next week. You know what I mean? And I was always like, ooh, she's so good. I always.
Oh, you guys are hilarious. Okay, we are going to close out today's show and the love fest we've been having with the Moni Effect. To say thank you so much, Moni, for being our guest on the 15-ish minute coffee chat. As always, your wisdom and what you brought to the table is going to inspire so many people. So thank you for being here with us today. As always, you can find Anna and Selena at AnnaandSelena.com. We love to hang out on LinkedIn. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, or your favorite podcast platform. You can find everything that we've talked about today in our show notes, which is going to be on the resources page on our website. So we hope to see you there, and we'll see you at the next 15-ish minute coffee chat.